There are moments in life you never forget. Not because they were special, but because they scarred you so deeply, you had no choice but to remember them. Lena Moore was 18 when she met her college roommate, Cassidy Hart. Lena had arrived at campus early, arms full of secondhand books and nervous hope. She'd always been shy, quiet, awkward, someone who preferred the company of fictional characters over real ones. Cassidy arrived 2 hours later with a loud laugh and louder friends. She was radiant, effortlessly cool, and underneath it all, cruel. At first, it was small eye rolls, pointed silences, passive-aggressive comments about Lena's clothes or her stutter when speaking. But as weeks turned into months, the cruelty sharpened. Cassidy read Lena's journal aloud one night while her friends laughed. She called Lena the mute ghost of room 314 and told others that Lena cried in the bathroom at night, something that was painfully, privately true. Lena never retaliated. She retreated. Into her notebooks, into her words. She wrote everything down. 10 years. That's how long it had been since room 314. But Lena still remembered the way Cassidy's voice could cut through silence like a scalpel. Now 30, Lena was a best-selling author. Her books, sharp, poetic stories about women reclaiming themselves, were celebrated for their raw honesty. Her latest novel, Room 314, had just hit the top of the charts. The protagonist, a quiet, overlooked girl bullied by a brilliant, beautiful tyrant of a roommate. The world called the book fiction. Lena called it memory. She'd moved on, or so she thought, until the email arrived. Hi, Lena. I don't know if you remember me. It's Cassidy. I read your book. I think we should talk. They met at a cafe in Manhattan. Lena arrived calm and composed, wearing soft gray tones and a quiet confidence Cassidy had never known in her. Cassidy looked the same, but diminished somehow. The glow was faded. She spoke quickly, nervously, eyes darting. God, college feels like another life, Cassidy said. I was such a bitch, wasn't I? Yes, you were. Cassidy blinked, taken aback. Wow, I didn't think you'd say it so bluntly. I've learned not to soften things for other people's comfort, Lena said, especially not yours. Cassidy laughed awkwardly. She talked about her failing marriage, her 2 kids, and how she sometimes cried in the shower and didn't know who she was anymore. Your book. It hit me, Cassidy admitted. I saw myself in her. I wanted to reach out. Maybe, I don't know, say sorry. You're not sorry, Lena said gently. You're uncomfortable, that's not the same. Cassidy's face tightened. Wow, okay, so what? You hate me forever? No, Lena replied. I don't hate you, I outgrew you, that's different. A pause. Then Lena placed a signed copy of the book on the table. Read it again. This time listen. And she walked out, back straight, heart steady. That night, Cassidy sat in her kitchen with a glass of wine and room 314 open in her lap. As she read, something changed. She didn't see a story anymore. She saw every moment she had dismissed, every act of cruelty she had rationalized, every smile she had faked while Lena had withered quietly beside her. She didn't finish the wine, she cried instead. Cassidy started typing an apology email, then deleted it. She realized it wasn't about being forgiven. It was about finally facing herself. Days later, Lena strolled through a bookstore. Her next novel, the last chapter, was being placed on shelves. Was it hard to revisit that time? Not once I realized I wasn't writing about who hurt me, she said. I was writing about who I have become. Lena smiled, not from spite, but from peace. She had turned her pain into prose, her silence into speech, her scars into strength. She didn't need Cassidy's apology. She had already written her ending. In a quiet backyard, Cassidy sat on a swing set as her daughter played nearby. She opened room 314 one last time. Inside the front cover, Lena had written, "For those who mistake silence for weakness, I remember everything." Cassidy closed the book and looked at the sky. Sometimes the most honest apologies are the ones we say to ourselves. Not every story ends with forgiveness. Some end with understanding, some with silence, and some, if you're brave enough, with your voice finally found. The cruelty of bullying can have a lingering impact. However, we can all gain empowerment through transformation. With work, we can transform ourselves into the people we desire to be. Also, accountability doesn't necessarily mandate forgiveness. Sometimes, forgiveness is not even necessary. Sometimes we become indifferent to our tormentors as we outgrow them. Do you see Lena or Cassidy in your current or former self? Life is not about being a prisoner of the past. It is growing and evolving, becoming better versions of ourselves. Share your story below. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.